G'day, I'm Paul. I am so excited to show you this today. This is the Ford Ranger Super Duty. We're here in Ford's Design Centre in Australia because Australia is still the engineering house and the design house for Ranger and Everest, and this is basically a new vehicle in that whole product portfolio. I've got a stack of notes here that I'm going to refer to because we've just been given a download of information ahead of the global reveal. So let's start off with, I guess, what this is and when it's coming. So Ranger Super Duty is a brand new version of Ranger designed to elevate towing, payload and durability for fleets and for customers who want to do a bit more with their dual cab ute without having to go towards something like a Ram 1500 or an F-150 or even bigger than that, looking at some of the Super Duty products they offer in the States. So we're talking about GVM of 4,500 kilos, GCM of 8,000 kilos. We don't know the curb weight yet, so I can't tell you how much payload you're going to have, but this is going to be heavier than a standard Ranger, but I suspect it will have more payload than what you'd get with a standard Ranger, even at its max towing capacity, which is 4,500 kilos. So this is the type of towing capacity you're going to get on a 70mm ball from much bigger pickup trucks. So this is going to be coming to Australia in 2026. At the moment, they've only confirmed production for Thailand, but I suspect they will offer this in the States and probably more broadly in places like South Africa as well. It's going to be powered by a Soul engine variant, a V6 diesel. So this is the same V6 diesel you're going to find in other Ranger and Everest products. There is a stack of changes though, and one of the critical ones, I'm a member of all the forums and I see people complaining about things like oil leaking from turbos. This is something they claim to have addressed at the end of 2024 in the standard production run and something that they've addressed here as well. Let's start with the design while we're here at the front. Love this new colour. So this is one of the new colours they're offering. There is another sort of beige looking colour that looks like it belongs in a Toyota product, but beige and this sort of darker green colour here look really cool. Big open grille, and what you'll notice at the front is a new Ford logo too. So they've changed away from that sort of chrome styled logo to this one here with the white highlights. Now this vehicle is going to be available with a stack of different options, both for the tray section and the front. The tray will be available in a chassis style. You'll be able to fit a heavy duty tray. There are a lot of upfitters as well that are part of a new Ford program where Ford is basically endorsing upfitters to fit products that are capable of living on this vehicle and have that approval from Ford. So there's going to be a lot of different options you can actually fit to the back of this. You've got dual cab, single cab, a sort of a king cab style as well. So they really have gone to town on what's available. Love this this fitment here. So this is a steel bumper that's mounted to the frame, and this comes in this sort of style side fitment here, but you'll be able to get stuff from ARB, heavier duty winches as well. They really have thought about everything in terms of the purposes of this car. Welcome to the underside of the Ranger Super Duty as I lay on the cold floor here. I just wanted to give you a closer look at just some of this setup. So rated recovery points, you have pretty decent underbody protection there. These control arms are chunky. This whole chassis is basically completely redesigned. There is very little carryover with a standard Ranger, so they've kind of just re-engineered this vehicle entirely to be capable of this light truck duty. So bigger control arms there, protection all the way down, 130 litre fuel tank as well. I'll show you what that looks like when we get to the back, but this whole front area here is very sturdy and looks like it is going to be designed and ready for some pretty decent impacts. We'll dart around to the side here. Big tyres. So we're talking here about all-terrains, and it's an LT tyre, so a light truck tyre. It's really rated for the extra load that this vehicle is going to carry. You've got 8 stud lugs on here. This wheel design, absolutely love. So this isn't going to launch straight away. It's going to launch with a steel wheel to start with, but about 6 months after production, they're going to roll this out, and this wheel has been designed not only for durability, but also additional brake cooling as well. Safari worked with Ford to develop this snorkel, so it's a unique design here. You'll notice as well, Super Duty stamped across the vehicle, and wherever it is stamped, they've gone for like an embossed design, so it sort of really stands out and matches some of the American products. Bigger wing mirrors, the other key element here as well, because a lot of fleets are going to be buying these, means that they need things like bigger wing mirrors, but also extra safety features. And at the rear of this, they've got standoff bumpers that basically integrate all of the extra safety features you find on typical style side Rangers, but they're now rolling it out across all the chassis products as well, which means that you are actually getting all of the standard safety equipment and not making any compromises. 360 camera standard across the range as well. These side steps, so it's a composite material, gives you lots of standing room there, and lots of durability as well if you're going to be doing some off-road driving. If you think about the fleets that are going to be buying these, we're talking about stuff like fire, forestry, the type of people that are doing hardcore off-road driving that needs to be a whole lot more capable. Front and rear diff locks as well. Now, because it has over 3.5 tonne GVM, they've had to fit these indicators to the side, so that will come from factory too. Have a look at this track width as well. So track width has been increased above and beyond a standard Ranger. Big protection there on those wheel arches, disc brakes at the rear, and heavy duty rear suspension that I'll run you through in a second. Side step there as well. This is the 70mm ball you're going to find at the back, so this is capable of fitting a 70mm ball. Around the rear here as well, you're going to notice the Super Duty badges. So the vehicle will have N2 rating for the emissions controls because it is basically a light truck configuration. That's also probably going to mean that it's going to use more fuel the way that this is set up, but it is rated for EU6, which is the standard that they need to go for. Now, this is a really cool feature as well. So if you've driven F-150 in the States, it actually comes with a set of scales that are integrated into the tail lights. So as you're loading equipment into the tray, the tail lights basically change color to tell you when you're getting close to the payload limit. This doesn't have it integrated into the lights, but it's integrated into the sync system, both for payload, but also for your tow ball. So you're not going to have that situation anymore where you have to get a manual scale out to figure out your tongue weight. You'll basically be able to look at your screen and figure out how much weight you have on the rear of the vehicle. It can also then help you figure out whether you have too much weight at the front of your trailer or if the distribution doesn't quite work. So they're all sort of things that they've really gone into and looked at this from a functionality point of view. You'll notice as well from the side that the ride height sits a little bit higher at the back. This has basically been set up so that when it is at payload and it is at GVM, it is basically going to sit flat and ride similar to what a Raptor does in terms of its height. Okay, so under here, let's have a little look. So same story, tow bar over here. If this was a sort of a tray version of this without the style side, you'd actually see all of these components exposed. This is where they fit radar sensors for your blind spot monitor and also rear cross traffic alert. So that is important for fleets from a safety point of view. So that's all sort of been fitted through here. So full size spare under here. Enormous differential. Like this is significantly bigger than what you're going to find in a standard Ranger. And then just behind that, you have your 130 litre fuel tank to give you driving range of over 1,000 kilometres. So it is quite a decent setup there in terms of capability, and it gives you everything you're going to need to do long distances and also have all the safety you need for things like fleets. So it all looks sort of pretty good under here. Let's jump inside the cabin. I'll show you what it looks like in there. Okay, welcome to the interior. Now, normally I would sit inside cars, but I'm not going to today. This is basically a prototype. You can see the big red ejector switch over there. It's basically a vehicle that's going to be on display, and I don't want us sitting in there to break it ahead of the global reveal. But this looks really familiar to standard Ranger. What you will notice in terms of the differences, they have a manual DPF burn function. So I don't know whether that's going to be mounted here as a button or whether it will be mounted on the screen, but that was one of the bits of feedback they got from fleets saying that they want to be able to basically do a manual DPF burn instead of it doing it automatically. You'll also notice throughout the cabin, like here for example, you've actually got open areas to mount things like screens and some of the accessories they need in these vehicles for other industries. Super Duty lettering on the top of that, glove box cover there as well. Vinyl floors. Outside of that, it all looks pretty similar, and I think that's a good thing. The standard Ranger kind of just does what it needs to do. It doesn't need a huge amount of changes. So from an interior point of view, I think they've done a pretty decent job here in just keeping it functional, but also keeping all of the features that you come to expect from a modern vehicle like this. Now, let's talk about the engine. So 3-litre V6 diesel. This engine also has to have basically light-duty truck cycle capability. So it needs to be able to not only deal with a lot more payload, a lot more towing, but also duty cycles that go beyond what a passenger car does. The other thing they've updated here as well is cooling. So the fan is now a kilowatt, so it's gone up from around 800 watts, so that is going to increase your cooling capacity here as well. This is a great engine. I just hope that they have fixed those small reliability issues, because that is going to be the Achilles heel if they haven't put enough attention in this. So let's hope that this is something that they have absolutely gone through, because it is going to be a really important one. Okay, so you've seen the physical car, but this is what some of the other options look like. So an emergency response vehicle here in single cab, the vehicle that we're looking at here in double cab, and then this sort of king cab arrangement. ARB's worked on an updated version of the Safari bar to fit on this as well. You can see here what the standard wheels are going to look like with that steel configuration. So yeah, it's kind of a really interesting setup. So this is going to be coming to Australia in 2026. We don't know exactly when, but it will be in 2026. Should I buy one? I'm very tempted. It is a very good looking vehicle. Not that I'll ever tow 4.5 tonnes, but let me know what you reckon about Ranger Super Duty in the comments section below. Do you like the look of it? Do you like the specs? I know we don't know payload or curb weight at the moment, but I think the specs are really quite strong for what is going to be a vehicle that competes with much bigger vehicles outside of its segment as well. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon button. Until next time, take it easy.